Hello everyone. Now before we kick off, just to let you know, tomorrow is the start of AK August, so we'll be posting various polls, artwork, etc., which will be AK Girl themed. We do have an awesome video lined up from Hayley Evaner, and we're going to hopefully get some more in as we go. But if you want to get involved, please let us know. I'm going to have a link in the description below which will give you info that you need to know. And for folks who are asking about Fan Art Friday, yes, we will also post up the Fan Art Friday for this. I say this month. This month will be tomorrow, of course, which will be, as I say, the kickoff for AK August. But anyway, enough about that. So last week we did a spoiler Q&A for our various sort of crowdfunders, so people who paid via DeviantArt, Ko-fi and Patreon. Incidentally, you can also do that as well. Link down below. There's going to be a whole bunch of extra things that you get, so exclusive reviews, behind the scenes previews, lots of stuff that you get on top of the regular kind of updates and videos that we post out. But anyway, so these questions, so just to be clear, these are strictly non-spoiler questions. If you would like to leave questions for a future Q&A, and again, bear in mind we are saying not spoiler, so, you can ask, a wide range of stuff, but just please, for example, don't ask what will happen, blah, 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 because I can't really tell you. Because the answer, by and large, is either please read the comic. If you've already read the comic, check again. Or it's just something that I can't talk about because I really don't want to give away the story. And it's hard for me to say that because I really appreciate the passion. I really appreciate people getting excited. But I can only tell you, the limits of what I can tell you. I'm not going to give you more than that because I'm just not. Because I want people to, sort of hear the story and sort of learn more. And I hope you understand my position on that. And like I say, I don't want to sort of damn down anyone's sort of excitement because, I'm excited to see the rest of the story too because I'm working with artists. And again, that's another thing we'll talk about later. But that preamble done, let's get looking at some questions. So these first couple are from Mercenary Master. So, when it comes to AK Girl and Wonder Vixen, are they one and the same, or are they separate characters? Well, AK Girl and Wonder Vixen, if you look, we have different profile videos, which I'm going to put the link to the character playlist, so that you can see this a bit clearly. But AK Girl, to keep it simple, so AK Girl, Vibes is the human form, so if you think of it in terms of Clark Kent and Superman, Vibes is the Clark Kent, AK Girl is the Superman. So, Vibes is human form, AK Girl is Fox form, and she's the, brunette. Sal, aka Wonder Vixen, blonde, same thing applies. What is the relationship status of AK Girl since Sal's with Guillermo? Again, this isn't really spoilery because it comes up in issue 1. But she has a relationship with Mark, who is the manager of the radio station that she was at. And as you read the comic, you see where that relationship goes. Okay, so we've got a few questions here from a really awesome person who's supported us for a long time, but they've asked to remain anonymous, so we respect that. But to this person, I just want to say I really appreciate your support, everything that you've done for us. It means a lot, so thank you very much. What encouraged you to try different art styles when telling the story? Well, part of it was practical. I think for people it is quite a big commitment, whether it's a 22-page comic or like a 40-page one. It is a lot of work, so I think realistically it's not that easy to kind of keep people on, especially if they want to move on and do other things. Like, for example, Susie and Dan like moving on to their kind of projects. And to be fair, both of them doing an absolutely incredible job. So, like in Susie's case, like all the work with the Tomb Raider fandom, absolutely amazing. Dan's work with things like Vanguard, terrific. I mean, a bit more adult than what we do, but you know, if you're into say sort of 2000 AD or Watchmen, absolutely, yeah, up there with it, no question. Great quality. But yeah, I mean, in recent issues we've also had different stories with like different sort of side stories in there as well, and they were kind of good to kind of tie things in as well. Was it hard to collaborate with so many artists at the same time? It varies. I think we've had a bit of trial and error on how all this works, so there have been times where we've had like multiple artists on the same issue and we had to simplify that. So now it's the case of one person working on one issue. The other sort of thing we tend to do is, like, if you work on the main story, you get the cover. Like, because I think a lot of people, I think, always come say like, "Oh, I'll do the cover." And it's like, yeah, of course you will, because you know the cover gets the most attention. I don't want to say easy because you know no art project that you have to work on is easy, because I don't mean it like that. But in terms of the amount of work you do, the amount of attention you get, covers and commissions etc. are relatively easy. So I want to kind of give that spot to the person that's put the work into doing that. Let's see. Do you ever see yourself retiring creatively from Reynard City and moving on to other projects? Yeah, I mean, I think it's something that has to happen at some point. I mean, I get people sort of asking me, do you want to do a film? Do you want to do an animated series? Do you want to do a video game? I mean, I would absolutely love to do an animated series or a video game. That would be absolutely wonderful, and I definitely have ideas of how I'd like to do it. But the answer often for that is the same with like a lot of things people ask for, which is if you put the money down, then it can happen. And we've seen with things like, for example, Laxadaisy, which I did a review, like I said, again on the crowdfund for the pilot, and I thought was absolutely terrific, and that was based on a webcomic. And most recently Nimona on Netflix, which I thought was absolutely awesome, again based on a webcomic. I mean, the biggest example in recent times that people forget is that The Walking Dead is based on a webcomic, you know, so any number of things are possible, but you have to push for it, you have to get it out there, you have to let people know you want it. I mean, in a respectful way, like, you know, like, don't kind of like hijack conversations or anything, but like, in a positive way, let people know. Do you struggle with balancing character screen time in a comic? I mean, I think it's always tricky, because you've got multiple characters, and you want to give them all a fair shake. I think in terms of like kind of the main sort of thrust of the narrative, I just think the dynamic between Vibes and Sal is just my favourite thing to write, and I think they work really well off each other, so it's hard not to kind of focus on them, I think. And actually, strangely enough, this came up in a webcomic chat thing, so there was a character that I actually cut from the original webcomic series, Musha Tux, who was based on a character from Ghost Dog Way of the Samurai. And I thought, oh, he's a character, he speaks French, he's kind of cool, but it was tricky because he didn't really like add as much as I wanted him to, and he never quite fitted in with the dynamic, whereas I think in this reboot we kind of kept it tighter, I think. Do you fear that the narrative is going too fast and not allowing itself to build up? I mean, again, this is a very fair question, and I think to some extent, yes, there are some things that I think have had like more focus and more attention in this new version that we didn't get in the original one. But on the other hand, I do also think there were things that I would argue we over-focused on in the original one that weren't particularly needed. So, I don't know, it's kind of giving in one hand, taking with the other, because I think because originally before I started the first like webcomic series, I wanted to do it where you started off from the therapist centre and vibes being like the central focus, and then I was sort of said, well, you know, someone sort of was working with me at the time and saying like, oh, you should. So I should say someone, Seb Brigler, thank you very much. And don't get me wrong, I think the story that Seb created with me was fantastic, and I really enjoyed, you know, this creating this world of Animal Kingdom and getting to know this planet, and then like the third issue, the switcheroo, where you go to Earth. But I think the advantage with this new version is that it focuses on Vibes as a character, and I think we get to know her and her perception of this world, and I think that's better. I think it's more effective. I think it kind of hooks people in, I think, in a more effective way, and I think that is purely the benefit of hindsight. That is, like I say, there's not having a go at Seb at all. I think it's just, you know, you live and learn, as the song says, and I think overall, whilst I think there are some sacrifices in the new version, I think the fact that we're getting to the point where we can tell new stories is absolutely fantastic. So there we go. So those are the questions I got for today. I mean, as I say, if anyone has posted questions since then, don't worry, we could do like future videos on this. And equally, if you are someone who would like to ask a question, like I say, preferably non-spoiler, by all means comment below. That is absolutely fine. Now, a quick reminder of a few things. So issue 6 is now available, and again, talking about the narrative, so again, thank you very much, Anon. This is in effect, you know, the pivotal point where we get towards the end of this series. So this is a story I've been looking to tell for years. It's a story that in effect started off with issue 4, because that was the point where we told a story that hadn't previously really been told with the original webcomic. So this was the first point where we kind of went past that, and in effect the story was new, and like issue 5 built on that and kind of made it bigger. And then issue 6 is where we get a pivotal point, which is now going to feed into a final story and a final sort of change of status quo, if you like. And I am like, it's interesting because the reaction I've seen so far from people, like, there are people who just like immediately messaged me and said, when's the next one? And I was like, wow, I was not expecting that. Like, you wonder in your mind how people are going to be reacting, and it's like, dang, like, wow, like we have literally just like within a day of posting it up, someone was like, right, give us the next one, which is where we can now start talking about issue 7. So issue 7, it is going to be written by me, and it is going to be done with art by the wonderful Blue Ike, who also did a story in issue 6 called Warp King, Welcome to My World, which was like a fun introduction to the warped world of Warp King. I'll try saying that fast 3 times. And I'm also very happy to say he's progressing really well. So I don't want to pin a time on it, but it will, I think, be ready before September. I'm feeling very optimistic on that. I don't want to say for sure because, well, life. But he's progressing really well. I'm really impressed with the work he's done so far. I think his art is absolutely fantastic, and what I like is also what he's kind of put into it is, you know, an extra sort of energy and humour sort of beyond what I've put in the script, which is great. I'm really happy with that. But it's still very much in keeping with what I want, and that's ideal. Like, that's absolutely spot on, wonderful. And I think when it comes out, I think people will enjoy it. I think it will be, in some respects, oh, how can I put this? I don't know. I think it will be a different vibe from previous issues, but really good. Yeah, so there's that. Oh, another quick thing. Big thank you to Mrs. Zane, who is currently working on an AK Girl cosplay, and she will be the guest judge for this month's Fan Art Friday. So thank you very much. A big thank you to Moira Harrigan, who was the guest judge for the last Fan Art Friday, which was posted last week. So awesome there. Thank you very much. Also, talking about issue 7, the cameo slots, we've still got a couple left. So if you want to get one of these 2 slots, basically you've got until the end of August, and that's when, after that, we're going to close it in. Now, the reason that we do that is that Blue Ike has asked me, in effect, can we put a lid on this, because he wants to be able to focus on the comic and sort of know that everything's coming in, which is 100% fair enough. You want to respect people's process. I mean, the good thing about these cameos is that it helps fund the artists, and it kind of gives them a bit more in terms of funds. And also, as a reminder, like, anytime we sell these comics, we are putting money towards the people that make this project happen. That also includes voice actors. There will be one more full trailer. We just got to sort out one last audio to then get that together, but we are working on that too. Some really terrific stuff with that one. I'm really looking forward to sharing that, and the team are on particularly good form, I've got to say. Like I say, no spoilers, but I'm really excited. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Anything else? I think that's quite a lot covered there already. Oh yeah, big thank you to Dragon Multimedia LLC, to Jeff Dwoskin, I think that's how you pronounce it, to Cinema City Norwich, to Tuck and Roll, who all sponsored issue 6. Really chuffed with your support. We also had cameo slots from Rev 701, Van Hikari and South Spaniel, so very grateful for you guys too. And if you also look in there, we also had some fantastic artwork chosen by Avery K. Tingle from Matt Ann 95 and Mercenary Master. So all of you guys, thank you so much for your contributions. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything covered for now. But again, if there's things you want to know about, keep an eye out on the YouTube account, because there's going to be pictures, there's going to be polls, there's going to be all kinds of stuff. So yeah, speak to you soon. Much love. Bye.